Savage.
All right, what's up, everybody? We're back. Juice is loose, and it's just me, T, and Terrell. So it's gonna be, they're not gonna be any love for Sony's press conference, I don't think, and maybe we won't be on for 2 hours and 40 minutes like the other one. But let's just say right now, got to give a shout out to Robert gaming with me.
Robert
making it to the ARMS tournament, winning the first round. That was awesome seeing him, and then just the whole thing was awesome.
This kid is just unbelievably lucky. He just falls into E3 and then falls into the ARMS tournament, and he wins a match. Bravo!
I just wish he, could have stepped outside himself for a minute there and switched something up because
he kind of got stuck into a box.
Yeah, that Dragon Arm's good if you charge it, and then if somebody that playing with a quick character like that, it's difficult. It's easy for us to sit back and watch and critique, but I just know in the test punch, I had to switch Min to her double. I forget what they're called, the boomerang style.
Oh, the Rams,
and to kind of beat players like that. So, but yeah, it was awesome seeing them, and it was a great tournament. I actually liked all the tournaments. I was really into them, and I'm not so much into competitive gaming. So, you guys got anything to say on the ARMS tournament, or Robert?
I mean, Zerp.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say Zerp the jerk. He was he was good. You can't take that away from him, but he didn't have to be an ass in his victory. But he did play well. So
he got schooled by what was it? What was this dude's name? The creator?
Yeah, I'm not gonna try.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try it.
What was it, Yabaki or something?
Is it Yosho?
Probably.
Oh, Game Idea guy says Yabaki.
Yabaki.
Mr. Yabaki? Yeah, that dude schooled him. He showed him.
I was gonna say, as far as I wasn't even playing the tournaments. I exhausted myself during Pokken and fucking ARMS because, especially those last few matches, that shit got way too hype. And I just want to give shout outs to Skyward King because that is a YouTuber. Apparently, so is Zerk. I didn't find that out until I got on Twitter. And Supergirl Kels as a Smash 4 player. I got to give props to all of them on top of my boy Robert. You did well. Those were really fun tournaments, man. All of them were good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like Nintendo. I know people were just giving them crap. Oh, there's 25 minutes. That's it. It's like that 25 minutes is almost insignificant compared to everything else they did in just the tournaments alone. Like that was some entertaining stuff to watch.
Yeah, they're still winning the E3 right now.
Yeah, and I don't know if the Treehouse is tomorrow. They didn't have a goodbye, so I'm thinking it's
tomorrow. No, yeah, it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe they'll have another awesome 3DS game announcement like today.
Y'all were so mad in the chat.
I wasn't mad. I was just like,
I think Juice was like, I had to cut that shit off. I was like, man.
Yeah, I turned it off.
You savage.
That Teresa girl from the Treehouse, she's a cutie, but I couldn't watch that game after going from Metroid 2 remake. The next surprise game was this. I was a little bummed, a little disappointed.
I'm actually surprised you were all Audrey for a while, and then all of a sudden it's Switch.
She's got that fake eyebrow thing going on.
Yeah, that fake eyebrow was killing me. The painting on eyebrows is
damn.
It is what it is.
Y'all savages, man. Jeez.
So, all right, let's
LA,
start.
I guess it's LA, when in Rome.
Because she had that fake blonde hair for like 3 years in Rome. I'm glad she went to the dark, but
the dark is probably her natural.
I miss the quiet, reserved Audrey that we used to have, and to some extent.
You want to know why? You want to know why you missed that?
Dude.
What?
You just got really loud.
I don't know what the fuck.
Have you ever listened back and heard you when that happens?
I have not, because I'm afraid of breaking my eardrums, apparently.
And screaming. Yeah, go ahead.
But the reason why you miss old Audrey is because you miss just staring at the girl. Because I remember that when they did the first or second Treehouse, we did like the Juices Loose. And fucking and Juices over there just kind of like, yeah. I'm really liking some of these these Treehouse girls, and I was like, man, you gonna start some shit we're not prepared to finish, all right?
How can you breathe in them t-shirts? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, she didn't really have a good look.
It was leg day today, apparently.
But anyway, let's start. We'll probably spend 5 minutes talking about this Sony E3 press conference. I was kind of hoping Rob would be here because I think I didn't watch his video yet because I mean there's so much to watch. I missed his take, but I kind of get the feeling like he liked Sony's press conference, so he would have, I think, been a other side of the coin for this. But I don't know. For me, it's like a sequel to a movie. It's like sequelitis. Like, you know, you can't pull the same thing. You can't have all the same jokes and all the same plot in a movie in a sequel and it be good anymore. You know, because we've already seen it, and that's how this felt. Like even the crowd, like Rob, you know, he ain't here. He always talks about how the crowd can really add to the experience. They weren't feeling it. They barely were cheering. It was just awkward, and it literally, other than the VR games and the Uncharted, it was the exact lineup. Well, Marvel versus Capcom and Shadow of the Colossus. You know, those.
Say that again.
Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh.
And Shadow of the Colossus.
We're gonna talk about that game.
Everything else we'd seen last year, not just knew about, but we've seen gameplay of. So for me, it was just a replay, and just like Nintendo's 2015, where it was mostly games we'd already seen before. It's just not exciting. And then to me, like almost every single game except Marvel versus Capcom is going for realistic looking, like whether it's not real world character designs, but some are like CGI, like realistic. But every game looks the same. There's no artistic style. There's really nothing exciting about anything I saw. So for me, this was the worst next to EA, and Bethesda's wasn't even really a conference. This gets like a C- for me, and you know that's being pretty generous. So, what's your take, T?
I mean, I probably would have liked it more if I was a VR trooper. We are VR.
Yeah, oh God.
So a little shout out to you, people who might know what that is. Yeah, it was VR heavy, and VR games ain't doing nothing for anybody. Like,
and it's Skyrim was in Bethesda's, and it was and nothing. I mean, Final Fantasy fishing, like
come on, man.
But
sad things we already knew about that.
And the games they didn't show, which are coming this year, like Crash and
I was surprised I didn't see any Crash.
There's one other game someone told me about.
Knack 2.
Knack 2, like
Knack 2.
Like I don't know. I was puzzled. So anyway, continue.
Maybe they didn't show them because Shoney's. Is that a restaurant?
Is this tipsy tea not even getting?
No, I'm actually pretty sober. Sony, maybe they just didn't want to show like cutesy platformers or something. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't show Crash and Knack like you said. Knack isn't really a platformer, even though it gets lumped in there. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a big God of War fan, so I mean that was the big game, I guess, and I guess the Uncharted DLC game.
That was embarrassing to me. That was embarrassing to have that big opening with that music and that water,
right?
And it's for like probably a 4-hour or 5-hour game.
I knew what it was right away when I saw them playing that music. I was like, "Oh, that's Uncharted,"
because of the setting that we saw.
Right, because they showed the setting last time, so I knew that's what it was. And that didn't quite land. I mean, I'm gonna get it because I'm an Uncharted fan.
And I heard it's gonna be cheaper. I thought, like they said,
it better not be $60. That's for damn sure.
Unless it's become something more than they thought. Or, when they showed it the first time, I thought it was gonna be a DLC like price, but not. It'd be a standalone. You don't have to have Uncharted 4.
Yeah, they can just call it. What are they calling it?
The Lost Legacy.
Lost Legacy. Yeah. Or they're gonna throw Uncharted on there because that's the name. So
and it's
$40.
Is it $40?
That'll probably be literally 2-3 hours gameplay, probably 5, 6, 7 with cutscenes, you know. So, I mean, I want to play as Chloe. I liked her character in Uncharted 2. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just
I really liked that character. Huh?
Oh God.
I'm a big Claudia Black fan ever since fuck, I can't think of the damn show now from Sci-Fi back in the day. Farscape.
Farscape. Yeah.
That's one of my all-time favorite shows, and
It's a great show.
So she voices Chloe. So I mean, yeah, I mean it's something I'll probably play, but that trailer for one thing just kept showing me.
It was really bland. Like it didn't.
Let's show her jumping on off a cliff and the other girl catching her. Never seen that in an Uncharted game.
Yeah. And how much control do you have during that stuff? None.
Not hardly at all. So
yeah.
I guess I didn't. Well, let's get. Do you have a grade for it?
Like I want to actually actively give Xbox a different grade because I was quite salty on it. So I want to be a little bit fair, and I'm gonna give. First of all, I'm gonna give Sony a C-, and I'm gonna give Xbox a C. So
in comparison, Microsoft's was way better. I thought.
Yeah.
But or not way better, but definitely better.
It was better. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Terrell, what was your take?
Well, do we want to start off with the beginning of the stream where the audio issues were fucking up and you couldn't hear anything?
Yeah, that was bad.
For the first, what was that? The first 2 games, I believe.
About that, yeah.
And then, because I went back and looked at it, because I streamed it live. Like we got out the podcast and like 10 minutes later, I went in and did the stream for it, and you didn't give me any release dates for any of the games that we saw last year.
Sure, that was another thing.
And then the first 2 games is DLC for Horizon and Uncharted, and like the fucking because I was borderline, I was angry by the end of that because I was just surprised that it was that mediocre. Because people were like, "Oh yeah, it was all right. It was pretty average. It was pretty average," and they gave us no information on release dates. The only 2 games that are coming out this year are DLC, according to that press conference.
And Destiny, and some of a couple of third-party games.
Yeah, and the third-party games. And then, like, what pissed me off more is that the pre-show actually showed off some games that are coming out this year, like Ni no Kuni 2. I think Yakuza 6.
Oh, yeah, that was the other game I meant.
Yeah,
why didn't you show that?
Yeah, it's like they showed it in the pre-show. They put it in the pre-show. They put that in the pre-show.
Where the fuck?
There was a pre-show for Sony. Yeah, it was. All right, I guess we were podcasting during most of it. I saw some of it right before the stream started because that's when I saw Ni no Kuni, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that game does come out this year." Well, I forgot because they literally put it in the pre-show. I think they also there's also like a gameplay demo of Knack 2 that's there, but it's not one of those things that you put in the pre-show, like.
Yeah, most people miss that shit.
Why would you not put that in the actual press conference? Because if someone said Sony didn't have any games this year, technically they're wrong because there are games coming out. But if you were looking at just that conference, you would literally think the only 2 games you're getting is Horizon and fucking Uncharted DLC. And then like, cool, you showed more gameplay footage for the other games. But the best we got as far as release dates for any of those games was God of War's early 2018, and I'm like, and I know God of War fans apparently are pretty mixed on that game because of how different it is from the other games too. I literally kind of ended when I finished that conference. I was more in disbelief of just like, wow, that was fucking terrible. So I don't remember what I gave Microsoft because that Sony and Nintendo kind of overrided everything. But I would say Microsoft's is probably C+, and I probably would say Sony's is like a fucking D at this point. Like a D. I'll say D+ to be nice, but Jesus.
Microsoft feels like it was a month ago.
I know, right?
So long ago. But
that's what happens when you watch Nintendo streams for 2 days.
That's true.
You know, and I kind of predicted this last year with Sony's when I said I liked the format and I gave them props for that. But if anybody really wants to go back, they could listen to it. I was like, Sony's going to have the problem Nintendo had in 2015 after a great 2014 is most of these games are going to be not out yet, and they're going to have to show them again, and that's exactly what happened.
But you want to know the advantage was, though? Some of those games that Nintendo showed in 2015 actually came out in 2015.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's
like
the difference.
these games are coming out. Some of these might be E3 again,
or they were
Nobody
out
cared.
by this E3.
Yeah.
Juice-Stradamus over here.
I was like I said last year, I like the show. They cut it down to an hour and they had game after game and it worked. And I wasn't really into many of the games, but they were, God of War didn't get even a release year then. Neither did Days Gone, neither did Detroit, which that didn't even get a year again.
Yeah.
Days Gone, I don't remember that saying anything.
That didn't even have a date. That didn't even have 2018 at the end of it. That was the other problem. Like some of them had 2018 and some of them didn't even have dates after them. It was like, oh, well, eventually they'll come out, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like Ubisoft's was still good, and a lot of those games are coming out fall 2018. So that's not the only factor. When you combine no release dates, no release years to a couple of the games, with the fact that we've seen most of these games in last year's E3, and then for me, you add on the old gritty, realistic. None of these games had any art style, any kind of interesting looking visual design or aesthetic. That's just all trying to look super realistic, super gritty. And that Detroit, what was I watching? The movie? Like, is there any gameplay in there?
It almost seemed like a completely different trailer compared to the first trailer.
The characters are all different from last year.
It's like hard, I said hard rain. Heavy Rain. It's like that style of game.
But they didn't even show, to me, they showed a couple sequences where you could choose something, but at any point, do you move a character around, or is it just...
Yeah, you move them around.
Yeah, you move them around, but the cut, I would say that trailer wasn't really shot well to give you that understanding.
No.
Well, and I thought it was a completely different game. I said, did they go back and redo the game? Because I didn't even see the main character.
If you look back, none of the characters are the same from the trailer last year.
There's one character, but he only shows up in like a shot in this new trailer, which was the only thing that made me go, oh, those are the same characters. But
I will say, though, that the female, I really liked her character design. I don't know if she's modeled after, the voice actress, but that's a very cute looking girl. And
I like the setting. I like the world.
The idea is cool.
I like the idea, all that stuff, that whole iRobot thing going on there.
Yeah, but
they didn't present it that well.
Yeah, would you even say that was a good trailer though? The way it kind of cut?
No.
It was like a cheap movie trailer, like a bad movie trailer with cut into text in the middle.
Yeah, they didn't know. I don't know what they're thinking on that one.
And Rob ain't here too. I also wanted to ask him, did that Destiny 2 trailer do anything for even Destiny fans? That was one of the worst trailers of the whole night, to me.
I actually forgot. What the hell was the trailer? I forgot the trailer.
Yeah, it was weak.
It didn't even look like the Destiny I remember seeing early on. I thought that game looked beautiful and awesome art direction, but this looked like some fucking, not quite chibi, but it looks like some really chunky character designs. It's just nothing going for it. So
they're going for that Mass Effect Andromeda look, man.
Something.
Mass Effect Andromeda wasn't going for that look.
Oh, and then I guess the other thing I want to talk about was Spider-Man at the end.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that.
You mean, what we should really call it is Spider-Man Arkham City, because that's...
I really want to call it Spider-Man, the QTE event.
That shit pissed me off, man.
I'm sure there's going to be, just regular open world exploration stuff as Spider-Man, which would be cool. But in that trailer, they pulled the Tomb Raider and Uncharted. They kept showing the set pieces, the action pieces with the QuickTime events. What the fuck are you in that? I couldn't tell you what the person could have been doing with a controller during pretty much the whole thing.
I could tell in the beginning, because essentially the beginning was like Arkham Asylum.
It kind of looked like that.
But my issue with that is it's Spider-Man. He can go around buildings and shit. Why am I confined to running in this confined space?
And he kept just looking at an I-beam and then throwing out his web and it quickly pulling it the Batman grappling hook.
Yeah.
Why can't you just put up your web and swing to it? Why do you have to pick a spot and go right to it? I don't know if that's the final game, but it just, to me, I kept thinking.
I'm going to have to call myself T-Stradamus.
Oh, here we go.
Last year, when I brought up the fact that it's Spider-Man, I've played a lot of Spider-Man games, even the quote-unquote big open world ones like the ones on GameCube, that era. And, you get to. I mean, you don't really. It's open world technically, but I mean, you're Spider-Man. You know, zipping around in building. It's not like there's a whole lot going on there. There's not like, you know, it's not GTA. I mean, you're Spider-Man, so it's not gonna be you walking around and like talking to people, and you're gonna be focused on whatever your mission is.
But Miles Morales was at the end of the trailer, so you should be excited. Right?
I think you walk around as Peter Parker in like a GTA like open world.
Yeah, you get, but it's really, I don't want to say scripted, but it's really confined. Even when you do like the, you know, your alter ego stuff.
Yeah.
So what is Insomniac making this? Is that right?
I thought. Yeah.
What's their background? What types of
they do they're mostly known for what's the platforming game?
Ratchet.
Is it Ratchet?
Is it Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it's either Ratchet and Clank or Sly Cooper. I think
it's Ratchet and Clank.
Let's look. I want, because I'm like, I don't know what type of games they've made where like.
I'm pretty sure it's Ratchet and Clank they're known for.
Yeah, I think it's Ratchet and Clank.
They didn't make the those first-person alien shooters on the PS3, did they?
First-person alien shooters.
The launch title that had like 2 other sequels. Remember?
On what? On what?
The PS3. They were those Halo-like launch. It was like a launch title for the PS3. First person. Yeah, Resistance. They made those too.
Yeah, Resistance. Oh yeah.
And
and Sunset Overdrive.
All right.
Yeah, I knew Sunset Overdrive, but I was trying to think about.
They have a pretty good repertoire.
It's not really their genre, but I mean, I guess I'm a little more confident, maybe.
Well, Sunset Overdrive, it's a very fun like traversal type of game.
Yeah, so like I'm not worried about like
they fit well with that. Yeah.
I'm worried about the combat because look like they literally just ripped
Sunset Overdrive's combat is alright, you know.
It was also shooting combat, right?
It's shooting combat too. Yeah, it's all shooting.
At least it had some colors in it. I think it was the only game shown other than Marvel vs. Capcom that actually had color.
Yeah.
You know what's actually truly
Spider-Man
sad?
Looks pretty dope.
You know what's truly sad? Microsoft showed more Japanese games than fucking Sony did.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. You're right. And you know what? It still won't help their ass.
You know. And again, like without release dates, most of these were exclusive to PS4. But
I mean, but they were also the games of show like last year.
Yeah, it just felt like they just it worked last year. Let's do the same thing and then show us the same game.
Then they had like the stupid like for Days Gone.
Oh god, that was dumb. People hanging.
Yeah, the people hanging off the screen. I didn't even notice it until like they zoomed out because I was pissed off. I was like, why you keep zooming out the screen in the middle of gameplay? I'm like, oh, because there's guys hanging off the side.
That was the most. What do they call that when something's just there but it doesn't really serve a purpose?
Insignificant.
That or arbitrary.
Arbitrary.
Yeah.
And it's like that was such a waste of time and effort. Like that added nothing. That actually took me out of it. Like that was stupid.
Well, I mean, like you said, they blew their wad, this year, and I don't want to change the subject yet because I have a little Nintendo thing here I wanted to say there. But so just go ahead, Terrell. You're saying something.
Oh yeah, and they did the same thing for Spider-Man. They fucking brought out like a second screen or something, or to make the screen look like widescreen. I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah, I think they're going for like.
Yeah, what was that?
Just to like add to the atmosphere, like the background screen had a different like
angle. Was a different angle.
Oh, that's what was.
And it was like it was like a setting of like the city or something.
See, I was confused because
they did that for every game. Days Gone, everything they had that.
No, it makes sense now.
Also, speaking of Days Gone, do we have any thoughts on that? Because I still don't really get what people are excited about. To be honest with you.
Absolutely no interest.
I only know one person that's really excited about it.
Wasn't it Retro Death? Yeah.
I still don't get it. I really don't.
I do like the actor playing the main character. I've seen him in a few shows, and he's an alright. Seems like an alright guy. But that game to me, like the setting, the characters, it's just post-apocalyptic zombies. Like how much more can we handle with zombies?
Open world, you're fighting it against bad people, and you're Yeah, trying to avoid zombies. It's
that motorcycle driving looked like
ooh, it looked like I was at the time it looked like road rash or something.
It did.
Yeah, I'm about to say people in the chat were like, "How did he fall off the bike when no one hit him?"
It looked really.
And I was like, "Oh no!"
That game's got a long. I mean, that could be
some work.
If we see that at another E3, like, and that game's gonna come out and it ain't gonna sell 1 million, maybe 1 million copies, maybe.
It ain't coming out early next year.
It don't look anywhere.
It didn't. I don't think that was the one that didn't have a release date at the end of it. That didn't even have a release year at the end.
Got no release year.
I mean, and to me, like Horizon looked better every time they showed Horizon. Felt like it got people were excited and looked cool, and where this game's just, I don't know. The
first trailer was kind of exciting, but
it was kind of cool. But this one was, I don't know. Yeah. It's Last of Us looking again. God of War, stiff.
Oh, by the way, we didn't hear nothing about that game.
What, Last of Us? No.
But that's just it, right?
Kojima's game.
Oh yeah,
that's fine.
But there's no game. I don't know why people got excited about them. Like that's nothing. That's like
they didn't start the game.
That's like a tech demo. That wasn't anything. That was an idea that they put into a CG trailer. A weird Kojima idea. Like there's no game there. We didn't see a game.
They might have a semblance of a game at this point now, but nothing to show.
That might be a KJ Inafune situation again.
Like a weird not KJ. It was a weird Kojima type dream sequence. That's what we saw.
And it's like a God of War, like, I didn't love the God of War series. I just was too repetitive, and you couldn't never change the camera angle. It just felt very dated, especially on the PS3. So I like that they changed it. But again, this looks like The Last of Us with an old Kratos with a young companion, just like Joel and Ellie. There's some action combat, but it's slower paced. And he just looks stiff, and maybe that's on purpose, but it did have some really cool.
I think it's just more sad that you just lost like another beat 'em up franchise for the sake of like, we need to make it a cinematic story. I'm like, but isn't this the guy who's around killing gods and fucking
women
all the time?
Don't you think that's why they didn't show Last of Us? Is because of God of War?
Probably because they look so similar.
I think that's it. I think Terrell, you nailed it when you said Microsoft showing more Japanese games and whatnot than Sony. Sony was Microsoft this year. Sony showed samey games, and I think that's what we're not thinking about consciously. Is that a lot of the games felt same. They looked visually kind of the same, and there was no real variety in the gameplay styles.
Yeah, I gotta give Microsoft some credit I didn't give before.
Yeah, that's why I had to be retroactive.
That's the only time that's ever happened where Sony's conference has made me rethink Microsoft's conference.
Yeah.
And it's saying a lot from someone like me who has no interest in Microsoft 90% of the time.
I mean, even you.
That being said, like, out of all the games, Uncharted I'll probably pick it up some point. Shadow of the Colossus, I don't know. I think we said it off air when I compared it to if Nintendo announced the Wind Waker remake this year. I wouldn't be excited. Probably end up buying it. It's just like Shadow of the Colossus. One of my favorite games of all time. My favorite Sony game of all time. And I just don't know. It's not exciting to see the same game. If it was a sequel, I'd have been excited.
Right. Totally. None of us were like overly excited for
the crowd. Barely
Twilight Princess HD. That was just like, oh, it's cool. I'm gonna buy it because the visuals are better, and I didn't really care for the visuals on the GameCube, and that was pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. So, and I mean, Spider-Man.
And they don't have the amiibo. You ain't got no amiibo for Shadow of the Colossus, so that would have helped.
So I mean, I might end up with some of these games when they eventually come out. Yeah. But just to see him at 2 E3s in a row and a lot of just no variety, and just he comes out, that dude, and he's just like, wow, that was exciting, right? Breathtaking. Like, no, it wasn't. The crowd was barely cheering. Like the Horizon.
You mean the dude at the end?
Just the guy that came out a few times. That guy. But did you guys hear the crowd after the Horizon DLC? When I say hear, I'm using quotations.
I didn't hear the crowd the whole conference.
There was barely a clap.
It was barely.
And it felt awkward. That's the negative side to having a live audience when it's bad. they make it worse by not.
They make it worse, yeah.
It makes it more awkward. So it was disappointing. I really, as a PS4 owner, after last year's, I was expecting them. I kind of thought they'd try the same formula. I just didn't realize they'd try the same formula with the same games and add VR this time. So it was kind of a bummer.
Gotta wait for PSX, man.
Yet somehow, you know, IGN's best PlayStation game of E3, they have 8 nominees. The Switch gets 3 total. And it's like, I looked at the PlayStation nominees, and 4 of them were games only shown at Microsoft's press conference. Yet somehow they're up for PlayStation 4 game of E3.
And you wonder why. I have a video somewhere I haven't put up yet about these awards and nominations.
That was some
E3.
of the biggest bullshit I've ever seen. We'll talk about Nintendo right now, but to only give Nintendo 3 games for the Switch, ignoring Splatoon 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, ARMS, Sonic Heroes. They picked Sonic Mania, or Sonic Forces, I meant. They picked Sonic Mania, Rabbids plus Nintendo, which actually looks pretty good, Rabbids plus Mario, and Mario Odyssey. Those are the only 3 games they felt worthy.
Wait a minute.
Kiss my entire ass.
Wait a minute. You tell me they put Sonic Mania
Sonic for the
Sonic
Switch.
Mania, Mario plus Rabbids, Mario Odyssey. Those are the only nominations for Nintendo.
Ubisoft game,
What?
a Sega game, and Mario Odyssey.
What kind of shit is that? Hey,
you
look,
want
look, hey, no bullshit. I'm excited for Sonic Mania, but I'm like,
yeah, me too.
You got a whole bunch of other Nintendo games you're gonna put on there, and you're telling me those Sonic made it. All right, cool.
They
cool
did the
story,
same
bro.
shit in 2014. They put Smash. They didn't have maybe Bayonetta 2 and Hyrule Warriors or something. They only had 3 games. They ignored Splatoon and what was a couple others that were coming out later, and just completely ignored Xenoblade Chronicles X. Like, how the fuck did you ignore Xenoblade Chronicles 2? It's for Nintendo for Switch games of
Bullshit. It's bullshit.
Because people are fucking biased and stupid. Also, for some reason, RPGs don't seem to get on those lists as much. I don't know why.
And Destiny
Final Fantasy
2 was on there.
I bet Final Fantasy got on there. Final Fantasy
Yeah,
15.
fuck Final Fantasy 15. We don't talk about that game.
I think Destiny 2 was part of the PS4.
I don't count
It's bullshit, man.
They had Anthem and A Way Out on PlayStation's best of E3. Like,
and these people want to act like we're crazy for saying this stuff. It happens constantly. It's consistent.
I've never seen such a more obvious bias to try to make Nintendo. Oh, they added a game. They added Xenoblade Chronicles 2 now. It's like, ooh, I'm glad I came and looked.
Oh, good.
To pointed it out. Like, how could you not have had that from? It was the first or one of the first few games I showed in the Treehouse.
One of the most anticipated games anywhere. But
Yeah.
So you know,
through it.
let me go over the PlayStation ones though, because this is awesome. A Way Out, shown at Xbox. Anthem, Assassin's Creed Origin, shown at Xbox.
Thank you.
Days
None of those are
Gone.
even exclusives. Okay,
Detroit Become Human has no release date, hardly showed any gameplay yet. You know,
Neither does Days Gone. I don't understand that either.
Far Cry 5, God of War, Spider-Man, and Star Wars Battlefront. And it's like, so you're going to include a game that doesn't even have a release year, that barely showed anything. For Nintendo, I mean, even for Nintendo fans, like Yoshi, it's coming out in 2018, showing at the Treehouse, like, that's a pretty awesome looking game. It's just so apparent that they're trying to make Nintendo look inferior. And they've done it, you know, last year, obviously, they only had the one game for Wii U. But the previous years, they've done the same thing.
This isn't anything new.
It's just, I don't know. But anyway, let's talk about Nintendo. Let's focus just on the actual spotlight, and then go into the stuff we learned after. So I don't know. We'll start with Terrell. What did you think of just the spotlight? The 25 minutes, they showed like 10 games, I think.
Yeah, I was pretty conflicted during that whole spotlight, particularly because it was a weird situation where I get something really cool, and then fucking Reggie would get up there and talk. He talked like twice, and I was kind of like, and I was like, it was one of those things where it's like it's 25 minutes, and it still felt like you were trying to pad it, and I was like, you don't need to do that. And then like the little thing where you mentioned you show Rocket League in the beginning, you show ARMS and Splatoon in the beginning. I'm like, cool, got them out of the way, and we got through them. And then for some reason Rocket League showed up again, and Mario and Rabbids showed up again, and I was like, No,
Rocket League I understood, but
Rocket League makes sense, but
That
Rabbids
gave some good
bothered me.
info. Like, when
Yeah,
they
Rocket
revealed-
League. I'm about to say Rocket League was fine. I was fine with Rocket League. Rabbids bothered me because like it's like I just saw it yesterday, and it's also a game that we've known about technically for a while now. So it's like I don't really need to see it again. I thought Nintendo overall did the best anyway because you had your games for this year with like Fire Emblem, Rocket League, Xenoblade, Mario Odyssey, and Mario and Rabbids. Both Mario games have release dates. You had your 2018 titles and Yoshi and Kirby, and then you had your in the future games like Metroid and Pokemon. I thought they had the most balanced event of covering all the bases. I was just a little salty about them being a little redundant with things like Mario and Rabbids, and I didn't think the trailers did the best jobs of the games considering I was kind of hoping to see more gameplay. I mean, granted, that's probably what the Treehouse is. Just kind of hurt the trailers for in the actual direct, and then I wish we got release dates for Fire Emblem and Xenoblade. But I would overall say that was probably like a B conference.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like on cloud 9 about the whole thing. I love that the intro trailer, like, you know, more like a TV ad. I could see that being broken down into smaller chunks for TV ads for individual games. I love the style. Like, I thought that was a good way to start. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 trailer was decent, but it didn't do anything really more. For me, it didn't do anything much more than the initial one, but it did show a little bit of the combat. So, you know, Kirby was cool. And then, you know, hearing about Pokemon and Metroid obviously was good to hear. The Yoshi looked amazing. I agree. The Fire Emblem Warriors trailer was really disappointing. Like that was not a good trailer, I didn't think.
What trailer? It was nothing.
And like they're being real secretive about the characters, and like I said in a
because they don't want to piss people off.
Yeah, I think they're going to announce characters in a certain time frame, like weekly, bi-weekly or something, just kind of build hype. That's kind of my theory, because they did say in the Treehouse, well, we'll announce more characters later. So they purposely kept it at a minimum, I think, so they can have like a direct or something to announce more characters. But judging it on in what I saw in the spotlight, it wasn't exciting. And I did like the Zelda DLC. I thought that was cool to find out what the story was going to be, and then Mario and Rabbids, you know, it's kind of a throwaway. But the Rocket League, like I said again in Active Sins podcast last night, that's how you do a third-party game and bring it to the Switch. You give us everything the other versions have, plus extra stuff, Nintendo-themed, just like Skyrim. Give us Nintendo-themed stuff, plus complete parity, cross-platform play with PC and Xbox, and exclusive stuff, and an exclusive wireless LAN option. Like, that's how you... It's like I said in my reaction video, which I got to upload. Like, that's a pretty simple formula. Just do that, and I mean, it's not guaranteed sales, but that's how you bring a third-party game to a Nintendo system. To me, I want to buy it just because they made that decision. And you know, it's always been a game that's interested me, and I can play against the guys that I know that have it on PC that've been, you know, not hyping, but trying to get me to buy it for the last 2 years. So that's cool. And then Mario Odyssey, that trailer was just so phenomenal and on such a strong note. But I was like you, I was feeling like a B. You know, I was like, yeah, you know, it was good. Could have been better. There wasn't a ton of games. The surprises were good, but we didn't see anything. So I'd probably say about a B for the actual spotlight. What about you, T?
Wow, looks like we're in unison. I'm with Terrell, like especially like the Reggie stuff. It felt like he was trying to win an Emmy or something with like the cryptic poetry he was speaking.
He was trying to be a philosopher, man.
Actually, I didn't mind that stuff, actually.
I could predict what he was about to say near the end of it. That's what messed me up.
It reminded me of the Wii U stuff. You know, when he's like trying to explain to you, oh, it's euphoric, utopian even. I was like, oh, stop.
Oh, Lord.
It just reminded me of that. So that was not a good thought. But yeah, I'm with you guys. Like, really good surprises. There was 4 surprises, right?
Yeah.
We thought maybe.
Some of us thought 2 we saw and 2 we just heard about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Rocket
Oh,
League
yeah.
makes 5 surprises.
But yeah,
Wait,
I guess
hold on.
that's a surprise as well.
Yeah.
And like you said, that was a great thing, that, you know, in showcasing, especially because a lot of fans were wanting that game, like because it just made so much sense to bring that game to a Nintendo platform like that. That is a very Nintendo-like game. So that I was very happy to see that, because you know I always liked the idea of the game and liked it, but I didn't know anybody who played it, so that was a deterrent for me. And I like to play with people that I know in games like that. So that was very cool. Obviously, we got the Metroid Prime 4 reveal. I knew right away what it was when it started happening. I was like, I wish I would have recorded myself, because I was wigging out too.
I saw the S and I knew it, but in the video, I had having trouble syncing up the video with the other one, and I was like, my excitement came when the 4 hit on screen, but actually when I was watching it, it was when I saw the S form. I was like,
again, T. Stradamus. I'm gonna tell you, that's why I knew right away what it was, because I believed 100% that we were gonna get. I said it in my predictions video. I said I don't know if it's gonna be Prime or not, but we're gonna get a new Metroid game reveal for Switch, and I was very confident about that, and it happened. And so that was very cool to see my dream come true. And yeah, man, like Yoshi looked it's gorgeous. That game looks amazing. Like, I'm like, this is the Switch? I was like, this looks really, really good.
I don't think PS4 could do much better for 2D platformer.
For 2D platformer, I don't think so. I wouldn't believe it. And dude, I love Kirby, and to get a new Kirby game, a console Kirby game, yes. I don't know. I think Juice, you're okay. You're not like a big fan of Kirby.
It looks like the art style, and if it wasn't for Yoshi, I would say it's the best looking 2D platformer I've ever seen. But
it immediately took me back to Crystal Shards on N64, which I love that game. And it was a little N64 love in this thing, because you had Kirby that felt very much like Crystal Shards when I saw it. Then you had Yoshi, which was a very Yoshi story on N64 in a lot of ways. And then obviously Mario going back to, his style of, Mario 64 style.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, did that game, like, I knew the game was going to be creative, I felt, but you never really know until you know. And I was completely blown away about what you were doing in that game. And I pointed out the fact that I feel like, again, in 64, Banjo-Kazooie, there's a lot of Banjo-Kazooie in this game. Nintendo will probably never say that, but the transformation stuff is very Banjo-Kazooie. The fact that when you collect the moon, you don't get taken out of the world and, basically in Mario 64, you jump back into the painting once you collect the star. Mm-hmm. You can just continue on. That is very Banjo-Kazooie. And I was just floored by that trailer, man. And the reveal of Paulina as the mayor of New Donk, like, yo, I was smiling from ear to ear. But overall, what I was really missing was a indie reel, like an indie games reel. Like, that was so missing. I was expecting Nintendo to do that, and they totally didn't do it.
Fucking Ukulele, Rhyme, Axiom Verge,
That is the one thing that was completely missing from this.
That's a good point.
And I was surprised by that. I was like, wow, that's surprising. Nintendo didn't showcase indies. And they got some cool indie games coming out this year on the system. So I was surprised by that. But yeah, I give it a B as well.
So like I said earlier, I think in the last podcast, some people want to just grade or count, that 25 minutes and then put it up against Sony, Microsoft, pick a winner. I've seen people doing that. Even the guy I really like, who's kind of done with YouTube, but Jason Chong or Zero, and he's just like, yeah, Microsoft won, and I'm just like,
he should know better.
It's like,
well, no, I would say even if you put them up together, I would still say Nintendo.
They showed 42 games, and that's a lot. Hardly any of which are exclusive, but they are games you can play on the Xbox. And I could see coming from that perspective, but just for me, I always judge it and I have since probably the last 4 years. Like, if you're still only looking at the press conferences and that's E3 to you, you're like,
Failed.
was it your mama you still using a Polaroid back 9 years ago?
Yeah.
And it's like you're still in that mindset. Like, to me, E3's become 3-4 days of day-long entertainment, thanks to the Treehouse, thanks to tournaments, thanks to live streaming, and Nintendo. For me, like, those all 3 tournaments had me hooked by the end. Like, I was into it, especially the last one with ARMS and the Treehouse. So they dropped a freaking bomb. First, they showed Mario Odyssey, and they showed some really awesome stuff. They had exclusive stuff they showed. The second game they show is the reason Nintendo as a whole gets like an A. This game almost single-handedly, with the tournaments and the spotlight, obviously, but this game brought it over, pushed it over the edge. Metroid: Samus Returns, brand new game coming in September. Reimagining of the Game Boy game, which I never played, and it's a Game Boy game, so it was great for people that played it, but it never looked that good. I wouldn't want to go back and play that.
Nope.
So to see this, completely surprised. No, I mean, some people said there's going to be a 3DS one, whether they knew it or just got lucky and guessed. But to see how awesome it was, not only is it a 2D Metroid side-scrolling type game on the 3DS, but it looks freaking amazing. Done by some guys that are known for, forget what games.
Castlevania, Lords of Shadow.
Yeah.
I like those games. I think they did the Batman too, right? They
might have,
or whatever. I like those games on 3DS. So,
but just to me, this was the second game of show, right along with Mario Odyssey, for all of E3, and I watched that 30-40 minutes, and that I think it was Teresa that was playing it. And I was just like, damn, like, this game looks freaking amazing. The combat looks awesome, looks very fresh, other M inspired at times, but to me, like, that game almost stole the whole show for me. Like,
but the good other M, the combat stuff was cool in other M. I always like those moves and stuff.
They have like that counter system.
Yeah.
Perfect Guard and Zelda, and it's just, God, it looks so good. I watched that twice. I watched it in 3D on my 3DS. I turned my 3DS on, started playing Metroid Fusion for about an hour. I hadn't turned my 3DS on in 8 months, and I still had 3/4 of my battery, and I played Metroid Fusion for over an hour, and it didn't even the battery indicator didn't even move. It's like, that's a well-made system with a really good battery. I thought it'd be dead. But anyway.
And I can't wait to see this game in 3D. Like,
yeah, you can. You download the trailer on the eShop on the 3DS.
Oh, can you? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome in 3D.
Oh.
So, and then Mario Rabbids really sold me when they showed it. Fire Emblem Warriors looked nice, looked smooth, looked pretty good. It's still a Warriors game. I was hoping for a little bit more, but still looks good. And the Treehouse just delivered, and with those 4, and then more stuff later. They showed Yoshi today, so to me, it's like, just like every year, the Treehouse is usually it's the saving grace, but this was the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I was just saying, Treehouse is where it's at, man.
Yeah, go to Xbox Daily, and they're just showing the same trailer from the press conference and having someone talk over it. Like, and
I went to that. I watched it. I watched a good bit of it.
I tried.
I was bored to tears. I was bored.
So, I mean, it's still going on. They're doing it tomorrow. The tournament just ended with ARMS, and it was fantastic. So they're delivering entertainment, not just, hype and stuff. They're giving me quality entertainment throughout the day. Like, missing out on TV shows I'd normally watch, or movies or something, and it's just good entertainment. So anyway, I've talked for a while. So Terrell, what do you think? I know you're not as big into Metroid, but what do you think about some of the other stuff shown in the Treehouse?
I would probably say, I'm trying to think, because the first, I think we got Mario Odyssey, and then Mario Odyssey at that point, it's like borderline, I would say, game of the damn generation at this point. Like, it's gotten the shit the trailer. I mean, because I don't want to sell the game short on that trailer. The trailer at the end of that fucking direct was god tier. And then for you to go right afterwards and show me a whole bunch of footage, and then all the footage that various media outlets have been putting up in these last 2 days, shit has been great. Shit has been beautiful. Metroid, they won't let me put the 3DS down. My goal was to beat Fire Emblem and never pick that thing up again. And then you gonna put this shit out on here, and I'm like, man, that looks good. I'm gonna have to. And then it comes out in like 2 months. It comes out in September. So I'm like, well, fuck, you're just killing me right now. You're killing me.
I said I'd never buy another 3DS game. I'm a liar.
See, they keep playing these fucking games with my heart. I don't need this kind of stress. Fire Emblem looks pretty cool, especially when I realized that apparently you can switch your characters on the fly, which is something you haven't been able to do in like Warriors games. In Warriors games, usually you pick a character and you have to play as the character the whole stage. Apparently, you can flip through characters on the fly, and each character has the event. They put the weapon triangle in there, so like if you're fighting like a cavalry person and you're using like they're using a lance, so if you're using an axe user, which we haven't seen one yet, you'd be able to kill them quicker. The fact that I can do that, and I can actually, and apparently you can give them commands. I said that's bar none already better than most Dynasty Warriors games, because those Dynasty Warriors games don't give you those features. So I was pretty excited just for that reason. Like I wasn't initially excited when I started seeing the footage because they only showed off characters I thought they were going to. But then like when I started looking and noticing all the smaller details, when I got more excited for that game. Xenoblade 2 was looking pretty cool. The only thing I'm a little sad about is it seems like they took out the graphic. You remember in X where it would tell you where you were positioning to the enemy you were fighting, like it would tell you front. They took that out. I didn't see that on the screen at all, but I like that they pretty much mapped all your arts to all the face buttons on the right side. So you can like, you don't, instead of cycling through your list, you literally just hit the button and you do the art. I think that streamlines it a bit. Also, fan art has already come out of the girl.
Pyra.
Yeah, my God. My fucking God. The internet is great. I fucking love the internet. It's fucking beautiful. People, there's like this image. There's actually this image floating around of, you know, how like Mario possesses things with his hat. Someone made an image of him possessing Pyra, and then like she's saying like Mamma Mia, and like shit's great. I'm gonna link that shit later. Shit was funny as hell.
You don't even have to do fan art. Like her costume and everything is already.
Yeah, bro. It was that outfit. The outfit is ridiculous. But Xenoblade's looking good. Yoshi and Kirby, I'm not like the biggest fans of. I didn't even play Woolly World, so I might pick this one up just because I haven't played one in a while. Kirby looks fun, and then I found out that apparently you can like fuse abilities together in that game. Like you can combine two abilities together. That's why you can make your enemies your friends and shit. So like you could take sword and combine the fire element to it. So that game looks interesting. I kind of hope that game has online play though, because I don't have friends. Am I missing anything else? I think those were the main ones I was excited for, because I obviously no Metroid Prime 4 stuff or Pokemon, and I can't think of anything else. I kind of wish Rabbids. That, because I like what you were saying, Juice. That once I started saying more combat of that shit, that's like a borderline day one pickup at this point.
Which one?
Rabbids and Mario Rabbids.
Oh yeah. After I saw the extended gameplay, it's pretty strategic. It looks, and it's funny. It's genuinely funny looking. Like I said yesterday, I was like, I don't love the minions. I'm getting sick of them, and I didn't love the Rabbids, but it seems to be a little more subdued. I don't know, maybe it's because it's in the Mario universe. Makes it a little more funny to me.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem as over the top and crazy as they
annoying.
Are.
Yeah, it's not. So I'm sold on that too. We gotta eat some crow. We gotta give Robert some credit. He's been excited since day one, and we were shitting on it since day one. And
side note,
it's pretty good.
When you like 100% of stuff, you're gonna be right sometimes.
You wouldn't even give it to him. You say, fuck, he's like, I ain't giving that shit to you, boy.
He was excited about the Switch. He was excited about Rabbids plus Mario.
But and to realize that essentially we have a game every month up until like October. Because we got ARM.
Because the Mario Zelda DLC will probably be November. Rocket League's probably looking at November, or Xenoblade.
Yeah, November. I'm just saying, first party wise, we're covered because you got ARM, Splatoon, Rabbids, what am I missing? Pokken, and then Mario Odyssey, and then you got Fire Emblem and Xenoblade in the bag. So it's like we are covered.
Yeah,
so I am very happy right now.
Plus some indie games. Plus, you got the FIFA's, NBA 2K.
You got
Skyrim.
the FIFAs and the Skyrim.
I might pick up Skyrim. I ain't gonna lie. It's not just the Zelda costume, but it's got all the expansions. And as someone said in the chat, it doesn't have mods. It's not parody. But to me, mods is that's a non.
That's more of like a fan thing. That's not to me.
You like mods for like 10 minutes, and you're done with it by then.
You don't need them when they got Link costumes. What do you need mods for?
The only mods people like to break the game with mods. That's the whole point of mods.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't. You know how I feel about that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I want to get my thoughts on Xenoblade real quick. Nice. I actually think she looks better in the game, but anyway. Xenoblade. My first thought, and once my full reaction video gets uploaded, it's just I couldn't sacrifice the stream quality to upload something today. I was like, man, it really doesn't look that good. The vistas and the big open doesn't have the same sharpness and off factor that X had. But then I watched the Treehouse, and especially on the replay, and I realized that they added dynamic lighting, which is something I complain about X, how it just looks stagnant and stale, and that fake lighting. Well, this has like real lighting and a lot of little touches when you get up close, like textures on the wall, like and then just that lighting, and then plus the Titans are moving the whole time. So if you look up, the head's moving. So they obviously had to sacrifice something to have that huge environment be moving the whole time, plus the art style. And it actually, when you take it all into consideration, it actually is a really good looking game. It just doesn't have quite the awe-inspiring landscapes, I would say, as Xenoblade Chronicles X for me.
Yeah, because they actually said in the Treehouse that they're still polishing the game. Like they made it.
Yeah, and then they added that they're at the polishing stage, and it kind of felt like he wasn't talking about potential bugs. It kind of felt like they were talking directly about the visuals.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if they can pull a Mario Odyssey, which I think looked better, way better in this new trailer and stuff, looks like texture work looks way better than it did in the first reveal. I mean, if they can make the game look better, that's awesome, because I think upon further inspection, it actually looked pretty good. And I do love the character design of Pyra. I'm a fan. So, I just hope the combat isn't changed too much or too simplified, because I really loved it in X. But it was cool seeing them running around on the creature thing that kind of replaced the skull with an animal that you can run on, look like a lion kind of creature. And seeing the big Titans and stuff moving the whole time, it's pretty impressive. So looking forward to that. That's a day one. I don't at this point. They'd have to really show something, change my mind. So I'm excited to play that. And it won me over for, if anybody hasn't rewatched like the Treehouse, the re-upload when it's in the higher quality, it actually looks pretty good. So
yeah, I'm doing that right now actually.
And I shared you guys a little clip of Mario in the forest from the Treehouse, and they walked up on the T-Rex that was sleeping. They didn't wake it up, but it looks so Jurassic Park. Like that T-Rex looks so realistic. It's weird.
Yeah, I saw that. That was gorgeous.
It is. It's so cool. And they're like creeping up next to it. It doesn't wake up, and it's like that's straight out of Jurassic Park. That's like the Jurassic Park.
Straight out of Banjo-Kazooie, because you can also change into a dinosaur. Just saying. There's some Banjo-Kazooie all in this game.
We don't care about Banjo.
That's irrelevant, T.
Nintendo does.
Rare don't exist, T. Just forget about it. The real Rare is dead.
Well, yeah, the Rare today is dead, but I'm saying back then, I don't know if you guys knew about the rivalry basically between Miyamoto and his team and Rare.
Mm.
Rare had Miyamoto sweating a lot.
Maybe that's
why he was hating on Donkey Kong Country back in the day. He said, something about the gameplay was bland or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, he said this proves that gamers will buy a good looking game even if the gameplay sucks.
Right. That wasn't from his heart. He was under pressure.
No, he was in his feelings. Is what it sounds like.
He was in his feelings. Right. So that's what I'm saying. they were somewhat rivals back then. That made for better games. And I love that. So.
Upon replaying the first Donkey Kong, it was a little sloppy controlling and unforgiving, but I loved it back in the day. It's just when I went back and played it on my Super NES a few years back, it didn't age as well as I thought it would. The new games, especially, are really compared to the new games, it's hard to go back for me. Especially Tropical Freeze and Returns feel so good compared to the old school Super NES.
Well, I mean, you could say that about Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, true.
So
Super Mario Bros. Still does control pretty well, surprisingly. 3 does for sure. I think Super Mario Bros. 3 still is playable.
Oh yeah, 3 is pretty good. Yeah,
and Mario World especially. I think those are all still as playable today as they were back then. Except you don't have the wall sliding and grabbing ledges and stuff. Some of those mechanics you miss, but overall, like I'm just blown away. I'm surprised anybody with any kind of, I'm biased towards Nintendo, but to see people that are, have all 3 systems and don't really pick a side, choose somebody other than Nintendo was just kind of shocking to me after everything they've shown and done, the last 2 days. It's crazy to me. Like, it's just so much good entertainment in those tournaments, man. Robert, I don't know if he's going to listen to this, but man, I wish he could have got further, but it's so awesome that he even got that
proud of you, man.
But yeah, I mean, overall it was good, and we got more to look forward to tomorrow. Hopefully there will be another surprise, and it'll be better than today's sushi striker.
Listen, first off, that music track was lit. I don't give a fuck if anyone tells you that trailer music was lit as fuck.
Sure.
Damn.
That was after Metroid. It's a tough act to follow.
That's what I'm saying. This game would be fine on its own if you'd seen it in a direct or something. It'd be when one of those weird 3DS games that happen and it pops up all the time.
It's one of those
following Metroid.
When you get your hopes up, this is why I always warn people: don't get your hopes up for directs, because when you get, I was like, we were talking F-Zero, Retro's game.
Yeah,
and it's Sushi Striker. I don't know. It's just one of those niche games. It's one very Japanese looking game, and
it might be fun as hell. Who knows?
It might be.
But
kind of got the music is, it's like a techno version of maybe a Splatoon song or something, but nothing I'm gonna whip out the 3DS for. That's for sure. So yeah, what else should we talk? Anything? We got anything else to talk about?
Like, I don't know. What else?
Well, I just wanted to say, okay, because we were just talking about the surprises and whatnot, and what I was alluding to earlier was we didn't see Metroid Prime 4, we didn't see the game, itself, and we didn't see the Pokemon game, but I think that was on purpose. I think the game is a lot further along than everybody seems to think. I don't know why people feel like they know. Like, I was listening to Game Explain. It's just so weird that they feel like they know how far along the game is just because you just saw a little graphic. Well, I'm like, you didn't even know the game was in existence 2 minutes ago. So how do you know how far along it is? I believe they have something they could have shown, but why blow that wide?
They don't need to.
You don't need to. You got next E3 to really open this game up, and that'll be a big thing.
Just like Breath of the Wild, they didn't show it in 2015. Everybody complained.
Right.
They could have showed that.
People don't learn from history, apparently. I believe. Actually, I'm going to say right now. Here's my prediction: Metroid Prime 4 will be 2018's holiday game. That is my prediction. I think they're going to open it up next E3.
Maybe we see it before. You think maybe a direct, maybe later in the year?
Yeah, you might see it before then. Nintendo is known to do that. Maybe earlier in the year. And they'll open it up in at E3, and then it'll come out holiday. Mario. Whatever Mario falls in, that it'll be in that slot.
What benefit would they have had showing that on top of everything else they had? Plus
zero.
The Switch. I mean, yeah, you could say they kept the momentum with everything they did, but at some point, saving something for next year's E3 is a good tactic. They learned that lesson in 2015 when they showed everything in 2014.
And by the way, everybody's 3DS, blah blah blah. They're releasing a Metroid on 3DS this year. So why put a cloud over that game by showing the big one that everybody wants, the Switch version? Everybody's I'm over my 3DS. Everybody says that. So why would you put the Switch's version out there and have everybody forget about Metroid Samus Returns right away? Like, that's not smart business. That's stupid.
If you say you're a Metroid fan and have a 3DS, you even for a second complain that that's on the 3DS, then you just want to complain. Just shut the fuck up. Like, it's on a system you have. I could understand if you just sold your 3DS, you got a Switch, you're excited. I could understand that.
That's different,
but if you have a 3DS and you're a Metroid fan, I was just in awe watching that gameplay. Like, I just can't wait to play it. Like, I didn't even think until I started reading on Twitter. I didn't even think about that should have been on Switch. It didn't cross my mind until I seen somebody else saying it.
You know why it didn't cross your mind, though? Because there's a Switch one. Like, if there wasn't that Switch one, you'd been like, man.
That's probably the only reason they even announced Metroid Prime 4 this year.
Exactly. I was getting to that. Exactly. That's why. Because they want people crying again. If they didn't do that, people would have been crying.
Metroid Prime 4 could have been in development since they announced Federation Force and had that interview. They should. We better start.
Yeah, because they're lying. At this point, Nintendo is lying when they say shit like that. That's a good idea. We should probably start on that. They are already making that shit when they say that, and it happens all the time. So that's why I believe it's pretty far in development.
I would have loved seeing it. Don't get me wrong. I would have been mad, but if it ain't coming out till late next year, then there's no reason to show it with everything else. With Mario Odyssey was their highlight game. Right. And I think that why not have the game coming out in October, your biggest franchise, be your highlight game? There's just I don't know if there's any benefit to showing Metroid Prime 4 this year, because then next year we're like, we already seen this game.
Exactly. What's next? You know what I'm saying?
It seemed like a pretty good strategy, and if it comes out, next year, that would be awesome. Because, if you believe Game Explain and it's 2019, 2020 title.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all. I don't know why they think they know that. I don't know.
I did think of something else to talk about. The Splatoon 2 Salmon Run I know Terrell watched it.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
That looks good.
That's fun as hell, dude.
That looks like a game I'll be playing more than Ranked Battle, and maybe the same amount as Turf War. Like, I can see us playing that for hours.
Yeah.
One more game, one more match, going till freaking 4 a.m.
Yep.
Type of thing. It looked. It won me over because I'm not the biggest horde mode type guy. I did like it. I've liked it in a few games, but it looks solid. Like, it looks fun. There's variations. It's not just the same thing over and over. Like, there's multiple variations. The difficulty seems to be easily scalable, and it looks great. Like, I can't wait to play that. Doing voice chat, whether it's through the phone app or Hangouts, that definitely would be a voice chat type of game. So, what if Nintendo's isn't ideal, then we'll just use Discord or Hangouts, because it's gonna be fun. So, what do you think, Terrell?
Oh, dude, it was really fun. And the fact that the difficulty ramps up so quickly, well, depending on what percentage we can dictate the difficulty. I hope they have that as a way for us to earn like when you win it, because we don't know like the sea snail situation or whether or not we're gonna be doing like when we're buying gear. I hope that's a way you can also earn points for gear, and it's like more effective than doing the turf war thing, like how it is in Splatoon 1, where in turf war gives you like the least amount of points, whereas like if you do ranked modes you get more. Like, I hope this is on that higher tier of it, and how things can get super stressful and ridiculous near the end of it. And I'm pretty sure that Salmon Run is also, to me, a little bit of a tease for the single player, because there ain't no way you create these new species of enemies in the game and they're just, they're only restricted to this one mode. Like, I believe that's plot related.
The steelheads, that was awesome. These giant steelheads coming out. And I'm like, it's not just salmon. It's not just limited to one thing. They got these giant steelhead, which if you live in Michigan, you know, a lot of people fish for those, and like they're really tough and they pop out of nowhere like the Tremors from the movie Tremors, those creatures that pop out. And somebody in the chat was like, if you're going to pay for the service, use the app or else there's no point. The app's there for game invites, messaging, and paying for the service is more. For me, if the app isn't better or as good as Hangouts, then I'm going to use Hangouts. Like, to me, I'm not paying. The online's required to pay to play online. So if I want to play Splatoon online, $20 a year, I'm not just paying for voice chat. Like, to me, that's the last thing I'm really worried about in that $20. Like, I just want good online. I want no communication errors. I want solid connections and easy game invites and stuff. Like, to me, that'd be fine. Just get off topic real for a second there, but it's not all on the voice chat. Like, I can gladly pay that $20 and never even use that voice chat app ever.
Yeah, because it's not the core feature of the reason why you're paying. You're paying for the online,
right?
Like the voice chat is just another feature that's included.
And I think going through a phone, it probably has a chance of being pretty high quality. Like,
yeah, man, that's like, yeah, because people don't like.
Hopefully, better than Terrell shouting at us with his mic.
God, man,
that's crazy. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but the game is looking fresh. No pun intended. I am.
Yeah, your pun was intended. Stop it.
It wasn't. Hey, man, this man gonna just call me out. He just gonna shame you for all these people.
I say how just awesome it looks that they have those life preserver or the ring. What do you call those? It's like the flotation device from like
floaties,
like that on their back. Like that just looks so cool when they get killed or whatever. They're floating.
That's so creative. That's just like they just, you know, even for something like that, a death animation. Yeah. That is just a cool thing to see. That little floaty.
And also, the fact that they're expanding upon that local multiplayer, because we all know the first Splatoon was really, really in pain as far as that local multiplayer is concerned.
I played it maybe twice.
Yeah, that was terrible. And it never got updates for maps or anything.
Nothing.
Nope, it did not. But this one does. This one they've already confirmed that this mode you can play locally.
Can you play it 4-player split screen or not?
I don't think it's split screen. I think it's like I think it's probably 2-player split screen, and then like if your friends have a Switch, y'all can play multiplayer that way too.
So yeah, I missed that. It's 1-on-1.
Well, no, you can play with 2 players if you wanted to, though.
Yeah,
they confirmed that you can play it to 2 to 4 players, so you don't have to have the full 4 players.
That's cool.
And they said it's confirmed for local, and I think it's the same thing for the other modes too, but I won't quote myself on that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything's got local.
That's the one thing I loved about the Switch. The Switch is really promoting this local multiplayer. So like every game now has like a local multiplayer aspect to it, and there's been rumors apparently Mario Odyssey may have it too.
And they did confirm LAN, like actually wired LAN too, for Splatoon.
Well, I figured that was the thing, considering how much they're pushing this tournament scene.
Yeah, for being docked and each having their own TV.
Yeah.
But why would you? I guess if you could do that, but otherwise, it's just each having it in portable would be more convenient for most people instead of.
Hey, man, there's just another option for gamers. You know what options for gamers? People got. I remember that used to be like such a huge thing. Oh, you guys don't want
options? Like options?
I hate that. I hate that so much. Yeah, we like options. We just don't like you bitching about shit. That's what it is.
And that Splatoon 2 tournament I was into it from the first match, but especially the last one when the Team USA came back. I didn't think the Japanese team was ever going to lose.
Oh, dude, you noticed that was like a theme between all the tournaments. You had like these comebacks near the end of them. Because in Pokken, it was the same way. I just don't think Nairo didn't beat because the guy that was beaten in Pokken tournament was a pro Pokken tournament player, whereas Nairo's a pro Smash player. So, and he like the first match he was decimated, and then Nairo started coming back. I was like, oh, and so that's what it is. If you can get 2 equally skilled players on the, which is probably why Splatoon was so much fun, because Splatoon was they were all high ranking players, whereas like Pokken and ARMS were too much of a mix of like casuals and pros, even though in arms, for some reason, it flipped, like that shit got flipped because like all the pros got knocked out like within the first round, and you had all the damn casuals killing it. So
they came in with those fighting game mentality, and that's
not used to motion controls. They're not used to that. The one girl just grabbed every time and got through the first round. And then the one dude just destroyed her once he figured out.
Yeah, y'all were fucking savage in the chat, by the way. Y'all motherfuckers had no shame, just dogging this girl out. Look at this grabbing bitch. I'm just like, yo, y'all gotta chill out.
I don't mind. Like, I hated it first, but towards the end when I was playing arms, grabs are a little bit easier as long as they don't just wait for you to punch and then dodge and grab. Like.
Right.
And don't throw punch. If both people are throwing punches and a grab happens, that's fine. But if someone's just waiting there, sitting there, like blocking and baiting you, and that's their tactic, that's boring to me. But if someone's just going to grab, it's not the hardest thing to avoid.
Right.
You can get around it.
But yeah, it's like arms, man. God, that game.
We only got like 2 days for that.
It comes out Friday, so that's the last thing I guess we can talk about. I mean, I'm gonna pick it up.
I want it now. Fuck.
I don't think there's gonna be a midnight. There's no other games coming out on Friday. I'm sure arms wouldn't be enough for midnight, so I'm gonna be picking up at 10 on Friday. And if anybody wants to play, if anybody else has the day off,
10 a.m.
Yeah,
I'll probably grab mine. But
I'll be off.
Then too.
I'll be off all day, so I will be on it.
Yeah, so and then we can try to set up something for like Friday or Saturday night. Get a lobby with however many,
Yeah, definitely Friday night.
Get some peeps listening. If you're on the friends list, try to get in. Obviously only 10. I think it's 10 max. There can be more if there's split screen. Like if I split screen, then you can have more than 10 people, but you can only have 10 accounts. I think or switches. So. We'll see how that's going to work, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that game.
Robert was talking major shit, that last podcast, and now I'm scared. I wasn't too worried when he was talking all that stuff, but now I'm a little worried.
I shouldn't have.
I'm still not worried.
I shouldn't have pointed out to him his strategy that was apparent, so that he'd keep doing it because I could counter it, but now that he knows about it, he's gonna be able to adapt and change. So I'm wishing I hadn't in a message on Twitter. I was like, man, you need to change up your strategy, and shouldn't have said anything because I forgot we're playing against him not too long distant future. So
yeah, like I kind of lost that competitive like gamer stuff probably after college, like right after college. I was never that big of a competitive dude, but like there's certain games that I don't mind bragging about my Virtua Fighter prowess because I'll whoop your ass today in Virtua Fighter. Me and Cage Maru, we formidable. So that's my dude. And I think I just tend to gravitate towards ninjas, I guess, because I like Ninja. And Cage Maru is a ninja, in case you didn't know, in Virtua Fighter 2. But yeah, I mean, I'm feeling competitive again, man. I think that's Nintendo. That's Nintendo, man. They're making me get that competitive fire back.
Man, it's crazy.
Games.
Like I pointed out to you guys and in Alex's podcast last night, out of the first party big three, Nintendo is the only one with like a multiple competitive multiplayer games, online and local, all out this year. They got Mario Kart, they got ARMS, they got Splatoon 2, Pokken, and it's like all first party. Like
Nintendo is the summer for the summer. They run this summer. That nobody else is putting games out, at this caliber in the summertime, and
and being so multiplayer focused.
They seem to be doing that on purpose. It feels like they're doing it on purpose.
Oh yeah, it's obvious.
Switch dropped in a droutish type of time, for games, in March, and they obviously owned that area. And then now they're putting these games out, these big games out in the summer, where summer is kind of a droutish time for video games too. And I think that's strategic, man, and it's working out.
Yeah, and even Pokken actually looked way more interesting than I ever gave it credit for. I tried the demo back in the day, and I still don't know if I'll pick it up, but watching them play it, it did look pretty interesting. So it's
Yeah.
be one of those games I'm glad if I buy it
I'm-
on the Switch, I'll be glad I didn't buy it on Wii U.
I'm on the fence because I've got it on Wii U.
That's my whole thing. Now the good news is that all the characters are unlocked from the start, so we don't have to do any of that dumb shit if we don't want to.
Yeah, that was another thing. Pushing through all that to get the characters and stuff.
Yeah, because that shit was a drag.
It was a drag.
I mean, I like and granted, I like that whole addition of the 3-on-3 matches that they demoed earlier today.
Yeah.
That could be a lot of fun. It just kind of depends on whether or not I don't know. It kind of depends on how many people actually pick it up this time. I mean, granted, it had around 1 million in sales last year, and it came out last year on the Switch. I mean, on the
It had 1.5 million. It ended at 1.5 million according to VG charts.
Yeah, so I mean, it did pretty well. So I could possibly see it do better than that, especially because now it's like you got Splatoon, and you'll have Splatoon at that point. More people will have it because of ARMS and Splatoon, so it's like I could see it doing better. I guess it's kind of a wait and see on that one for me personally. Like, it's a port I was fine with from the beginning. It's just more of, do I want to spend the money on it again? That's my issue. Although this is still somewhat Nintendo related, but I did want to bring this up because I thought it was funny about how like when they mentioned Minecraft at Microsoft's press conference and they talked about the 4K texture pack. Well, apparently Nintendo's also getting that texture pack. I mean, obviously it won't be 4K.
Yeah, the super duper.
Yeah, and then I found out apparently. Go ahead.
The Switch is getting that?
Yeah, it is.
Huh.
It's just not getting the 4K version, but it is getting like the graphical quality upgrade one. And apparently the cross network play that they were talking Switch 2, but it's not on PlayStation 4 because Sony doesn't allow that shit.
Same with Rocket League.
And their reasoning is something that like Nintendo would say, because they were like, it's like for the kids or some shit. I forget what it was. Actually, if
there was a user agreement.
Was that way? Let me look it up.
They said something about the user agreement. That's what
thought it was.
It's PR speak.
Going against the user agreement.
Wait, well, I don't get it. When they say the user agreement,
you know what you do? You update the user agreement. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Well,
Microsoft, like what? Apple does it all the time. They update that user agreement.
Yeah, you can't play online until you accept the new term.
Right. Give me a break, Sony. Give me a break.
Yeah, I don't understand what does the user agreement have to do with you not being able to play with other people on different consoles?
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of legalese and certain rules that would affect it, and I mean, even that is not that big of a deal. But there's a way around it, which you just update the user agreement. So everybody does it. Every company does that. So that's they just want to be salty in their own little corner. They don't want to play with everybody else. That's all. So
it just seemed weird to me that they would be the company that'd be like, nah, we don't want to do this shit.
I know. You would expect like Microsoft or somebody to do it.
I would expect
Nintendo.
I would expect the Nintendo.
That's what you expect to do it.
So that's just weird to me.
Someone in the chat saying that you have to sign into
Xbox Live
on the Switch.
Apparently. Yeah, apparently.
It's weird.
Because someone that asked them is like, they were like, oh yeah, you have to sign to Xbox Live, and they were like, even on the Switch, like, yeah, on the Switch.
Yeah, I had to do that. Because my son plays Minecraft on the tablet, and I had to sign in.
I don't remember my password.
Sure. I don't have an account. I gotta make a fucking account.
Make one, yeah.
Well, there's a few questions that I have that I don't know if you guys will be able to answer, but was Sonic Forces playable on the Switch?
Yeah.
Is there any captured footage of that? I'm curious.
There is, but people, from what I heard, and this is from Ash Paulson from Game Explain. Now, whether I don't view this as confirmed, but this is the way he was saying. He was saying Sonic Forces on Switch runs at 30 frames, while on PlayStation 4 runs at 60 frames. I don't know whether I believe that shit. I don't know, because I mean, he said he just looked at it and saw that shit.
They're pretty misinformed a lot, but I was just curious if that game was playable. I know some hands-on of FIFA people were actually pretty impressed.
Does that not drive you crazy when you go to like, you know, that type of a website or YouTube or whatever, where their job is video games, and they say stuff that they should know. Like it drives me crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like this is your job. How do I know this stuff? And this isn't my job. Like just little things, like stupid things that they should know. It just drives me insane when I hear.
Oh, by the way, I just linked the footage in the chat, Juice.
And it's crazy that Digital Foundry hasn't posted one video this whole time. Like usually, I figured they would have had Xbox One X stuff. Like I
thought they posted some Xbox One X stuff.
I haven't seen anything unless I unsub them. Yeah, Sonic Force is looking pretty good off screen on the Switch's screen.
Yeah, but I think quality wise, I'm pretty psyched about it. I'm a little disappointed the frame rate thing is true, which I could imagine it being true. I just don't really want it to.
Well, the video they recorded in 60 with their camera. I mean, it's looking pretty smooth, so I don't know, but
yeah, I gotta. It's one of those things I gotta sit back and wait. I mean, Manny is definitely gonna be on the Switch regardless for me. I would like to get Forces on the Switch too. I'd rather not take the drop in frame rate. If you want to drop to 720p, that's fine. I want to keep the 60 if I can.
Yeah, if you got a PS4 Pro, you might as well. If it's running solid 60 in the Switch, but I'm really impressed with this video here. Like, yeah,
it doesn't look like there's any difference between that and the PS4 version.
The Switch's screen makes games like I think Fast RMX looks better on the Switch screen than it does on my TV. So the Switch screen does look really nice, and maybe if you blow this up, it's not going to hold up as well. But like this right here proves that a game that's on PS4, Xbox One, PS4 Pro, Xbox One X can be on the Switch because I'm not seeing much difference. So
yeah, I never thought it was
talking about Sonic Forces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I heard, again, this is Game Explained, so take it with a grain of salt. They should know stuff they don't know. The PS4 version is 60, and they were saying the Switch seemed like it was 30.
I was about to say, I was sitting here like, man, damn, this is a big ass parrot in here. Holy shit!
Yeah. But that could change. That is something that could change.
Yeah, Sega's pretty good as far as optimize. I mean, because even Lost World ran at 60.
Right. Exactly. So.
I mean, what I'm looking at, this looks pretty fat, like pretty smooth, and doesn't look like some sluggish looking game. But
yeah, well, I think they had hands on, and they said it felt like it was slower. Because I want to say Derek, he played it on the PS4, and I guess he played it on Switch after, and he said it felt slower.
Well, I'm sure Digital Foundry or somebody will prove it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The other FIFA is confirmed at 60, but. And then, like I said, people that actually were there and saw it I don't think they have it on a TV. I think it's only portable.
Yeah, I think I only saw it portable.
People were pretty impressed. Well, the first report was kind of negative, but ever since then, it seems like more people are.
And then
positive.
You saw I don't know. I think I linked it earlier this morning that Nyko has all those new accessories for the Switch coming.
Yeah, there's like a thing that mounts your phone right to a Joy-Con grip.
Yeah, like if I can fucking find it after all the talk about how people suck at arms, apparently.
Who went out of business that does that kind of stuff?
Wasn't it Mad Cats that used to do that?
Mad Cats, that's who it was. How the hell is Nyko still around?
I guess do they do only Nintendo stuff? Or do they do other
No, I think they do everybody. But Mad Cats also. But I have Mad Cat's Xbox.
I think Mad Cats mainly did like competitive shit though, didn't they? Like I always heard about them for like fight sticks.
No, I got just like regular controllers. Like I have a Xbox, original Xbox. It was a Madden controller. It has like New York Giants on it.
Oh really?
Yeah. So they did all kinds of stuff. They did steering wheels, all kinds of stuff. I remember. I don't know if I have a Mad Cat steering wheel, but I've seen them before. So,
yeah, but I was like, I don't remember that shit at all now.
Oh, really?
I mean, no, I'm just saying, I don't remember what was the last thing Mad Cats did?
They had a ton of shit. I know I never really cared for their controllers because they always seemed like they were bigger. They were bigger than the standard ones that come with the system.
Come on, man, they totally were. You just didn't know, man.
They weren't that like really high quality. You know, maybe that's another reason.
Mm-hmm. Mad Cats.
Yeah,
terrible.
But they were cheap as hell. So
I think that
wasn't worth it.
No, it wasn't.
Two things. First, that same Nintendo World Report, I'm watching their Mario Odyssey. They must have a 60 frames per second off camera to record it off screen.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can tell Mario
gorgeous,
Odyssey
man.
is definitely 60, and I couldn't quite tell on Sonic. But the other thing we didn't talk about was the booth again, Nintendo's show floor.
Oh my gosh.
That shit looks like a fucking wonderland.
The 2 years in a row, they just killed it with that. Like Robert's video where he's showing like Sony's and stuff. It's not even close. Like,
no, it's just like TV, and here's just go play.
here's your line for Days Gone. There wasn't a line.
Ooh.
There literally wasn't. It was like a going into a haunted house, like a little zigzag line, and there was nobody in it. And then you go into like they're probably trying to recreate the setting, but Nintendo's booth was, I think Zelda's was a little bit more atmospheric.
We were kind of talking about that, right? We were kind of talking about the fact that I'm biased here. I'm a Nintendo fanboy, so but I just from whatever I see, all the time I see this stuff, it just seems to be true. These guys are really hype about hype, but when it actually comes down to the games and playing the game, they don't really seem to care as much. And like you said, that line wasn't that big of a deal. Everybody loves that game, though.
They loved. What was that one came out in December last year for the PS4?
Yeah,
Last Guardian.
Last Guardian, right? Everybody was all Last Guardian. That game came out. You heard about it for a couple of days, and it was mostly shade. It was this is clunky, man. It's just like, and like we were talking about the streams today. Xbox, what is it called? Xbox Daily
yeah.
versus the Nintendo stream. I was watching both of them, and Xbox Daily had 4,500, peaking, and the Nintendo Treehouse was 35K.
Yeah, and that was
consistently.
That was more of the low end.
Yeah, I'm talking like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock ish.
Yeah, it was like yesterday they were hitting like 50,000, I think.
Yeah. This is before the tournament. It's like, right.
I've seen it. I was seeing it up over 100 at different points.
Yeah, I bet when the tournament hit, it jumped up. I didn't look at it at the time.
Some of the tournament, I think it dropped for ARMS, but Splatoon it was high, and then the Spotlight, and then the Metroid thing.
Oh yeah, the Spotlight it was over 100. I remember that.
And before I forget, because I keep forgetting, I just sent a link in the chat. It should take you to the Nintendo World Report to a section where Nintendo found a way to make 2D Mario fresh and new again, putting it in Mario Odyssey.
That was so good.
Using the Link Between Worlds,
Link Between Worlds style.
And it's the coolest 2D platforming to implement it in this way in a 3D game, it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Did you see the part where I don't know, it's on, I think it was the Sand World where they show most of that stuff, and like Mario, he was 2D on the wall, but if he jumped out of the wall and a bullet bill was behind him, and the bullet bill came out too, and it was like a 3D bullet bill. I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Well, it's such a seamless transition. Like,
yeah, it was just seamless, right? That was the big thing. It was so seamless. Gorgeous, man. Gorgeous stuff.
It's the creativity. It's just mind blowing.
I can't wait to get my hands on it.
This is weird. I think this is like the first time I've seen footage of like the handheld version of Odyssey. I've been mainly watching it on the stream.
Oh, off screen or something?
No, I mean, man, yeah, it was like this first time I'm looking at the footage Juice linked to. This is like the first time I've seen like off screen footage of Odyssey, because I've been primarily looking at the Treehouse stuff. The Treehouse has been like all on TV. So, God, this shit looked great on that screen. This shit is disgusting.
That sand texture, I hate to graphic horror out here.
No, you don't. You don't hate it at all.
Sand texture with like it's got a reflective like sheen to the like not quite individual sand grains, but I'm really surprised because this is definitely a Switch game through and through. And the first trailer we saw, I was one who was like, yeah, it looks pretty good, but I don't see that jump from Wii U. Now it's like it's very apparent now.
I hate to throw more shade at Game Explain.
No, you don't.
But I will.
It's like I love throwing shade at them.
They swore up and down 4 worlds. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
What you saying now?
Now there's
no way this game was only going to be 4 worlds.
We've already seen 6. I'm about to say we've seen like what? We've seen the Mexican area, the city, Donk City, the forest area,
the dinosaur.
The dinosaur world.
The black and white world.
That black and white, black and white.
Black.
What about the difference with New Donk City right now? New Donk City looks like a level where it didn't really look like that before.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a world now, and the people aren't all walking around in gray, suits like they were before.
Hey man, this is also a side note. Does this mean we're gonna get Pauline DLC for Mario Kart?
Oh my god!
we'll get Mayor Pauline riding a hat car and shit.
I still can't get over that, man.
And speaking
this is Nintendo at its best right here. When they pay that kind of fan service, and bring all these worlds together, that is just that's when Nintendo's at its best.
And speaking of DLC, the DLC Pack 1 for Breath of the Wild comes out the 30th of this month.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, that's right.
Not August 31st.
Yeah, I thought it was August.
September or June 30th.
June 30th, yeah.
And that has the Trials of Sword, which looks awesome. And
that looks crazy.
In the hard mode, which I'm excited about. So I'll be playing that too. I have time to. I'm sorry, other consoles.
I understand why people want to own all 3 consoles. I'm like, damn.
It's hard. It's
like one console has like a bunch of games, and you just think, "Oh fuck."
With Wii U, you kind of had to, but
there were times on Wii U where it's just like,
I will say,
I can play my Xbox right about now
because of ARMS it's going to be fun, but I don't know that it's always going to give me my fix. Since Horizon dropped to 40 with my Best Buy discount,
I've been looking at that too.
Yeah, I get it for like
because I forgot. It's like, didn't you say you're gonna get that game? Eventually?
I'm definitely getting it. Yeah.
So I'm thinking that'll be a good compliment to ARMS, and but then again, the Breath of the Wild comes out. The DLC comes out on the 30th. I'm like, damn it,
bruh. And I'm looking at this the sand level where you can possess those they're not.
I'm still watching. Yeah, I'm still watching that one.
That goo texture looks ridiculous, bruh. It's such a dumb thing to bring up, but shit looks ridiculous.
And the sand, when the sun hits that sand, it's ridiculous. It's totally graphical now, but I'm sorry, it looks freaking amazing.
Yeah, because I was already hearing stuff
apparently there's some Mario 64 love in that too. The color, the text, I guess the color of the textures and all that.
I wish it had that
world was very similar.
I hope it has music cues from that sand level. I love that.
Oh yeah, yes.
Even like the small details, like how the Tiki thing, he hums and shit when he walks around.
Oh yeah.
Has there been dynamic music in Mario before? No,
really.
Right?
Well, in Galaxy it would change when you got to certain boss fights.
Yeah, 3D World, I did it.
Yeah, but I mean, just like in the world itself, because this game has dynamic music. Like when you go, you walk up to a different character, or you walk to a different section. Again, I'm sorry, I know you don't want to hit us, but that's Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie.
I mean, we don't really hate it. I think me and Mo's gonna be mad at you, man. I think me and Mo's gonna hit you. You gonna come over and break some kneecaps, boy.
That was a standout thing in '98 on Banjo-Kazooie.
Well, you're not getting another one, T, so you might as well take this
one.
That's
what I'm saying. I'm very happy because it's definitely paying homage to one of my favorite platformers.
This shit looks so good. I'm so angry right now.
And I've never expected to be able to take control of other things. When they first showed that, I never thought that was going to
Well, no one was thinking that shit. We were just kind of like, oh, okay, that's got to be like hat throwing is just a new mechanic. No, it's possession.
And it's a game like this that I'm again gonna be excited about being able to take it to work and play it on lunch or take it wherever I want, because I haven't done that as much with Mario Kart. I've been playing more online now, so I haven't really been taking it anywhere and playing. But for this, I'm gonna have this with me at all times.
Well, apparently,
what's gonna be the excuse this time if it doesn't have co-op? Is that where you're?
I'm pretty sure it's gonna have co-op, but there's been a lot of hints that it's gonna have co-op.
Well, the first time we saw it, it looked like it was gonna have co-op with that trailer.
But I do want to give some credit to Emily Rogers real quick, because there was one thing she said that I wholeheartedly agree with. She was like, the first year of the Switch would be great, would be like the best. It went up again, didn't it?
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's hilarious every time too.
Now I can tell. But she was like, the first year of the Switch is gonna be like one of the best first years for any Nintendo.
Well, she said better than the Switch's lifetime.
No. She was talking about the Wii U when she compared it originally. She was
I thought I remember it being the Wii U's entire library, because it's definitely better than the first year. That ain't shit. That ain't saying much.
Yeah, I think she did actually say.
I think she meant the
something
whole. By the end of the
specific.
first year of the Switch, it's already going to top the Wii U's library. Is what
I think
she
that's
said.
I think it's
because
more
it's going to. That's when she thought it was going to have most Wii U ports,
U
like
games,
almost
right?
all of them.
Well, granted, it does. Currently it does have some of the Wii U's best games or sequels to their best games.
Yeah, you know.
I think the only thing it doesn't have right now is a Mario Maker competitor and Bayonetta. Those are the only two games.
Yeah, because the X Xenoblade. I mean, yeah, it's almost
Fire
true.
Emblem Warriors.
Yeah, I'm about to say literally. I think it's just Mario Maker and it's
Bayonetta 3.
Smash.
Those are the only two
Smash.
games. Not in Smash, yeah.
Yeah, those are 3 big games, but
Yeah.
still, it's pretty close. I didn't give her much credit, but it's pretty close.
And then apparently Laura Kate Dale was so fucking happy when they finally announced the Mario Rabbids. So people would stop because people were giving her a lot of shit about that game not being real. And apparently
she was wrong big time about some stuff. So
no, she was.
And this was really off the wall, so people were just like, what? This is crazy. That's not.
But when she
But it was so off the wall, it was true.
Well, I'm saying because when the game was announced, she actually got on Twitter and said, I'm not doing this leak shit ever again. That was too much stress to deal with. So so we don't have to hear the Laura Kate Dale rumors anymore. Apparently this shit wore her out. The
internet, man, could be brutal. It could be brutal.
Yeah, they were fucking nasty.
Like I wouldn't be on her Twitter feed. That's just
no people. Yeah, I'm about to say people were dogging her out on Twitter.
Yeah, get a life. Come on. Like I'll throw some digs in our little discussions here, but I'm not gonna be on her Twitter harassing her. That's just you need to grow the fuck up. Like seriously.
And not related, but I just linked a Nintendo World Report. I used to be subbed to them, but I stopped. Now they also had some FIFA. And other than it looks like there's some weird scan lines on here, almost like the camera zoomed in too much or something. It's stationary, but it does look really good. Like FIFA looks, the close-up replays, it's nothing.
I don't care.
Nothing to be mad at. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm about to say you can see in the back like fuck these people.
It should, it doesn't look like it needs frostbite. I mean, this is looking pretty good. So.
Bro, I don't even mind.
I would say it's probably using 2017's engine to be fair. I mean, using like FIFA 2017's engine.
I don't even mind. I just Capcom's on my shit list too. By the way, they got a video coming from me too.
Wait for what? What game?
Because of nothing. Because it's Ultra Street Fighter. So
no, you should have said Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. That's what you should have said.
Well, I'm just saying we don't have that. We don't have
Monster Hunter Double Cross.
Go look at the footage for that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, where is the support? Like, there was all this stuff talking about how Marvel or Capcom was there to help Nintendo with, designing the Switch and telling them to put more RAM in and all this kind of stuff. For what? For Ultra Street Fighter 2?
Yeah, that's.
What else is there?
Double Cross.
We just learned that Double Cross is not coming.
No plans.
Stateside.
Yeah, to what do they call it? Localize.
What the hell?
Which I don't care. Which I don't care about because after Monster Hunter Worlds, I'm like, why didn't we get that?
Well, think about it. Even fucking stories that we're getting later on this year. That's being published by Nintendo here in the States. That's not
right. So where is this Capcom love? Like this, the Switch is supposed to have this Eastern. Where's Bandai, Namco Bandai? Where are they? Like, where are these so-called Eastern companies that were going to support the Switch?
Also, apparently, IGN put up a video talking about FIFA 18 fans reacting to playing on Nintendo Switch. I see it in the corner of my eye, and I can't click it and listen to it because we're doing the podcast. But I wonder what that's going to be.
They trying to start some shit.
Probably.
IGN. What are they trying to do?
As much as I was watching their coverage before and after Microsoft and Sony, and they were actually pointing out some good stuff, like how many times is Microsoft gonna say teraflops, and they made some actually good points.
Bruh.
They weren't being fanboy.
Bruh, I told you about IGN. They don't mind throwing shade at Microsoft.
No, that's true.
It's Sony. It's Sony they won't do it.
Then when I heard their Sony impressions, and I'm like, really? And I got a bit of a soft spot for that Australian accent on what's her face.
Fuck her.
I know. She's the one that said the Switch had been like 150.
Fuck her. I know you're talking about Alana, I think.
I don't know. These days, my IGN experience is Nintendo voice chat. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't mess around on that website.
I am looking forward to that personally.
That's all I do with them is Nintendo.
I do like Pear. He's cool.
I like Jose.
Pear, because me and Pear go way back. You know, Pear was
Hey,
there.
man, you've been hanging out with Pear since the good old N64 days.
He's replied to me a few times way back in the day. I used to be on IGN 64 like crazy back in the day. So, and he was the guy. So, he's a last standing guy from that era. So it's real cool to see him still around.
All right. Well, I think we've talked quite a bit tonight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we've been talking for like what, 2 hours, right?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
So, good talk. You know, it's just it's always good when Nintendo has a good E3. For me, it would have been better if Sony also had a good one. I mean, that would have been awesome then, because I got a PS4 now, and I was looking forward to some cool games I might be playing later this year.
You're not even playing them all on the Switch, man. We already know what's going on.
With all the Switch games, it's gonna be hard. So, but yeah, it's been good. I can't wait to watch some more Treehouse. I know there's some people like I don't have time to watch Treehouse all day. Well, they put the uploads up. They put the individual segments up on YouTube. So
yeah,
watch it at your leisure. But yeah. So final thoughts, T. Start with you.
Yeah, just last thing I wanted to say. I'm actually gonna put it in my own video. So be looking out.
Look at this cross promotion shit.
It worked out for me last time. I got some viewers over it now. Is that people fight about who won, blah blah blah. The best way to figure that out, and not that corny as we're gamers, we all win, kumbaya. I can't stand that. It's just so corny and annoying to me. But did the company who served their fan base the best? That's how I look at it. And I think you can be unbiased. You can look around and see what fans are most excited, and who is putting on a show, basically, when they talk about their grade for their favorite console or whatever. And I look around and I see, it could have been better, blah blah. And Nintendo fans are super excited. And we got the service. We got these IPs that we love throughout the spotlight, and I just think we were catered to the most in this E3. So that's how I look at it. And that's why I feel like Nintendo won, because I think they served their fans the best. Metroid Prime 4, come on, Metroid for 3DS, 2D side-scrolling one. I mean, Yoshi, Kirby, Amazing Mario, and you get a couple little games in there with surprises, like soccer cars. What is it called?
Rocket League.
Rocket League, and I like this stuff that they did for Skyrim, adding in the Zelda stuff. I mean, that's fan service. Even Rocket League has that kind of stuff with the Mario hats. That is, I think we got served the best from our favorite company. So that's how I see it.
All right,
Nintendo Foods.
What about you, Terrell?
I can't wait for ARMS because my birthday is that same day, so I'm gonna be eating cake and punching people in the face. It's gonna be beautiful. I want to give a shout out to actually you, Juice, and fucking Nia. Y'all's reactions to Metroid had me in tears, bro. People no bullshit, and this is don't.
I haven't seen Juice's yet. I gotta go.
This is don't be promoting Juice's live reaction on Juice's channel, but fuck it, we're gonna do it anyway. I love it because I'm not gonna spoil the whole thing, but you see the face, what is this? This ain't Metroid. Oh shit! Oh shit! And then Nia's was just a full-on screech for a good minute or two. It was fucking gold. And I was, even Shokyo's had me in tears. Shokyo, this man got on the ground on his knees.
I don't want to hear nothing from this.
And this man was like, thank God. And I was like, bruh, that just for the reactions in general on YouTube, this shit has been great. I've enjoyed thoroughly this E3. Games to look forward to. I got a game to play every month on my Nintendo console, which I haven't been able to say that since fucking
ever.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a good while. So I'm just glad. I'm glad to see they've hit this momentum, and at least for this year, they'll be killing it. Now all they got to do is get that fucking stock situation for the Switches in check, and I think we'd be good. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's another thing. Go ahead, finish, and I'll pick that up when I.
Yeah. I'll just say, yeah, it's good. Good E3. I'm happy. And like I always say, loves the game, play to win.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Nintendo's situation with the Switch is keeping them in stock. I wonder if any part of them was like, let's not. Maybe that's why they didn't show Metroid Prime 4. Was we got to keep the hype level lower because we can't fulfill demand. Like, it's crazy, but yeah, it's been good, and the tournament's been really good, and I'm excited to play ARMS on Friday, and yeah, it's gonna be great to have that and Splatoon. I mean, it's gonna be fucking October before you know it. I mean, look how fast this year's gone already. And but yeah, it's good stuff, great games, and I don't. If you like somebody else better, that's great. If you're excited about other games, that's fine. Just don't lie and try to downplay, what Nintendo did this year, and just look at even IGN, even though they only have 4 games for Nintendo, like the overall game of the year fan voting. Odyssey was way out in front. Next closest was Spider-Man. Then the third place one wasn't even close to Mario. So, yeah, it's I can't wait to play that and all the other games in between. It's gonna be a great end of the year, great year for gaming overall. And next year we got some big hitters too. So it's gonna be exciting. And yeah, with that, I'm gonna have my live reaction video up probably tomorrow. Maybe I'll wait till the weekend, give some time for people to check this podcast out. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We had good live numbers, good chat, seen lots of people chatting, and good stuff. So we'll see you next time, probably Monday for the next Juices Loose. So have a good one.